Okay, once you've got the centers done, you need to pair up the edges like this. I'm going to be showing you the simplest method that I know to do this. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do one way of solving it for the first 8, then for the last 4 we're going to do a slightly different method. I might as well get started right away because I'm just going to go on. Okay, the first one, just twist the sides around until you get 2 pieces that need to go next to each other, and when you put them next to each other the colours are opposite. Don't do it like this, where when they're on the 2 sides that are next to each other, so that they're showing the same colour. Just turn it so that they've got a different colour, so that when you match them up, they're going to be solved. Okay, what you want to do is just match it up like I showed you, then bring it up with either the left or right. It'll either be on the left hand side or the right hand side. Just bring it up, move it out the way with a U, then you can pair up these again. This is fairly simple. What I'm going to show you for when you've got them, so when you've got one edge solved, you can't just twist the cube around like this anymore, because you might disturb this piece. So what you want to do is look at a piece in the middle layer, and then look for the corresponding piece. Make sure you've not got both of them in the middle layer, because that just complicates things. I'm not even going to show you what you do on them, but you should be able to figure it out from what I show you here now. Look for the corresponding piece in the top or the bottom layer. It doesn't matter. Just hold it so that the piece is in the middle and the piece that needs to go next to it is in the top. Turn it so that the colours aren't the same on these, because they're both showing red. So turn it with a U, just one across, and now I've got green and red. So what I want to do is move it out the way, turn it away from the piece with an F prime, and do an F. You can then match this up. When you're putting this in, always bring down an unsolved edge, because then when you turn your centers to match up again, it doesn't matter that this gets broken up. I'm just going to pair up one, then I'm just going to show you something about that when you've got 3 inserted. Okay, here we go. When you put in the 3rd edge in for the top layer, because we're only going to put 4 in the top layer because there are only 4 spaces, don't do this. Don't put this above here and then turn it like this, because you'll be stuck there wondering, well, at least this is what I was like when I was first learning this. Like, well, how do I turn an unsolved one down? Because, you know, they're all solved. What you want to do is just turn a solved one down, because it doesn't matter if you turn a solved one down like this, as long as when you bring it back down, you bring an unsolved one back down. That's about it for that one. Just do the same thing for the bottom layer. Make sure you flip the cube over so you can work with this as the top layer and have your solved ones in the bottom. If you do have 2 pieces in the bottom layer, in the middle layer, sorry, that you need to, and they're flipping incorrectly, just take it out like I showed you before. When we just put in edges incorrectly, you know, when we needed to match up the colours, you can just do that in reverse, so you can take the piece out using those moves, and then you can reinsert that as normal. But I wouldn't worry too much with that. I'd look at the ones that you can use in the top layer. So got red and yellow here. Look for the red and yellow. Okay. Once you've done breaking my own, so not paying attention to my own teaching. Yeah. Once you've done that, oh yeah, it's okay. You're gonna have up to 4 unsolved edges in the middle. I've got a solved one here. I'm just gonna ignore that. I only need to show you one example, because you can do the same thing for all the edges. What we want is edges that are next to each other on the faces. If you've got, hold a piece here on this side, then look for the corresponding one. If it's here, do a B2, then an R2, so that'll flip it round here and then flip it over. If it's here, just do an R2. If the piece is here, like with this blue and white and this blue and white, you don't have to do anything. Make sure that when you're turning it round to match it up correctly to the piece, so for example like this, only do double layer turn, so I can see that this this piece is here, so I can bring it over to here with a B2, then an R2. That's just to pair them up. You don't even have to you don't have to follow them exactly, but just make sure you don't do single 90-degree turns. Make sure you always do a double turn, because otherwise you bring solved edges into the middle layer. Anyway, I made that more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, you'll have one of two cases with this. You either have it where the two colours are different, or the two colours are matched up. I've got blue and white, so the two colours are different. Unlike with before, we don't want them to be different, so we want them to be the same. If you have got one that's different, like this, do this algorithm: R, U, R prime, F, R prime, F prime, R. Now, these two are blue here, but just like try to ignore them. Blue and white and blue and white, but they're both showing blue. Then, if it's on the, hold it so that the pieces, the two pieces on the bottom. Then do a double layer U prime. Then do that algorithm again, and then do a double layer U to match this up again. I did go through that quite quickly. You should be able to figure out the rest of them like that now. It's not too hard. But yeah, I've not got much more to say on that. Just that's it. Just watch it again and again, just to make sure you've got the hang of it and you've got the hang of the algorithm. There's the phone going. My brother will get that. Right, let's pause the video now because we've finished the edge pairing.